Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Welcome to the first video on the channel here. Let's talk about RV transport. So I did a thing. I bought my very own first semi-truck, and we're going to be using it to haul RVs, camper trailers. Recreational vehicles are a big industry up in northern Indiana, and that's where I'm from. So this is not my first time hauling campers before, but it is my first time going all out, buying a semi, and figured I'd document it this time. Show y'all how it's done. Hopefully help give you guys some tips and just invite you along for the fun. Got our letter here from the Indiana BMV. That should be our title. Let's get that opened up here. Now I did pay for expedited processing and shipping on this, so I actually got this within the week that I applied for it. I went to the BMV on Monday for title, and I got this on Thursday in the mail. And that's some pretty great turnaround. So without putting out too much of my information here, let's see if we can cover that up. And there we go. My very own semi-truck, International 9400i, titled to me, but no, not registered to me, at least not yet. We're going to get into that too. Alright guys, so I have gone through the records here of everything I have spent in the last week and a half, 2 weeks here. So let's talk about what it takes to go out, buy a semi-truck, put it on the road, make it legal, insure it, fix it, make sure it is ready to go, and make some money. For that, I'm going to break out the whiteboard. So, $13,500 is what I paid for the truck. It is a 2007 International 9400i. Bought it from a local trucking company who's looking to upgrade because their drivers can't drive manual anymore. That's a benefit for me. I've had my Class A CDL for over 8 years now, coming up on 9. I can drive manual, and I am more than happy to have a 13 speed with a C15 cat under the hood. Title? Now that price is a little misleading, $1,005.70. That is the title, the expedited title processing, and mostly the sales tax. Indiana has a 7% flat tax on all vehicle sales, so realistically, the title was only, I think, about $15. What you're seeing there is mostly the tax and the expedite fee. First thing I did was I took the truck up to Elkhart, Indiana, to the guys and gals at Absolute Fabrication. If you're in the RV transport industry, you know the name. They do excellent work, and I highly recommend them for anything you need. They had a deal on fenders. One of the things that we'll talk about later is how important full fenders are in the RV transport world. They also were able to hook me up with a charging cord for the ShipShe trailers. Again, we'll get into that down the road here, but for those who know, you need to have that charge cord on there if you want to run the winch on the 53-foot ShipShe trailers or even the gooseneck models. And a DOT inspection as well. That was a grand total of $1,482. As you can see, we're spending a lot of money before we even get close to pulling our first load, and we're not done yet. Just my luck, happened to have a mechanical failure on the way back home. Now, a lot of people said, go buy a newer truck, spend more money. Well, you know what? Nobody ever sells a truck just because it's in good working order. If it was in good working order and making money, it would be on the road usually. Every old used truck has something wrong with it. So I spent a lot less money than some other people, knowing I would have to repair some things before I got going down the road. And sure enough, a diaphragm in my air dryer, as well as one of my brake chambers, was leaking air, and the problem was definitely made worse on the drive home. By the time I got back to town, I could hear it leaking while driving. So safe to say, I had to put that thing in the shop right away. That ended up costing me $771.31. My local shop is great. New Haven Truck Repair. If you're ever in the area of Fort Wayne, Indiana, and you need work done on a big truck or even a small truck, they are your place to go. Friendly people, a mom and pop shop, and by far one of the cheapest hourly labor rates in the industry. It's not cheap working on a big truck, so $136 an hour labor rate is fantastic. That is $100 an hour less than the big dealer shops would charge. So once that was fixed, we got to do kind of a little more fun spending. We got some spare keys made up for the truck. That was just under $44 by the local international dealer. Always good to have spares, both at home and maybe somewhere on the truck in case somehow you get locked out. It happens. Can't say I've ever done it, but I know people who have. Unladen insurance. I know I put this in the wrong order. It really should have been up here. I certainly wasn't driving a truck without insurance because that would be a very dumb thing to do. But I'm a little scatterbrained and tend to put stuff in the wrong order sometimes. So, Unladen Insurance, the Cottingham and Butler, that is who the carrier I am leasing on with recommended for an insurance provider. A lot of guys in the RV transport industry are very familiar with Cottingham and Butler. Now, this is a prorated amount here, $35.85. That is for when I bought the truck towards the end of August to the end of August. So that is just for essentially a week and a half, 2 weeks of insurance coverage on the truck there. The unladen and bobtail insurance, I'd be happy to do another video on if that's something you guys are interested in. But everybody, whether you are pulling a single pull for pickup trucks all the way up to the semi trucks, that is what you will need if you are going to drive commercially with your truck. Next was a big one. This was a fun one. Again, wrong order, but I did it I did it the same day that I bought the truck. I filed for my LLC. And I know some of you guys are going to say, $162. Why did you do that? Well, for starters, I paid somebody. I could have filed my LLC myself. My state filing fees, I think, are $98. I paid a little bit more to have somebody help me go through it to make sure I didn't mess anything up. And they're acting as my registered agent. So, at least for the first year, they're going to be the ones who, anytime any documents come in, it's going to go to them and they're going to let me know what I need to do to make sure everything's copacetic with the federal government or the state government. I feel that that is a priceless expense, really, especially for what ended up being about $50. Someone like myself who frankly has done this for a while but never on the business owner side of things, it's nice to have that helping hand and people that I can reach out to and talk to. So that is where you get the name Crossbuck Transport or Crossbuck RV Transport. My LLC is Crossbuck Transport, and there's a play on that due to some previous work I've done with the railroad in years past, and they kind of, I don't know, it's just a name I liked, so that's what we went with. So, last but not least, decals. I wanted to wait until I knew I was going up to orientation and leasing the truck on, so just yesterday on Friday, or Thursday actually, I should say, $60, Signs of Times up in Elkhart, Indiana. They are well known in the RV transport industry for doing magnet signs, window hanger signs, or stickered decals like I ordered for my truck. This $60 covered 2 sets, one for each side of the truck, to have my DOT number and the last 8 of my VIN on the side of the truck, as is required by federal regulations. Whew. All right, what a mouthful. We have spent a lot of money before that truck has even earned a single penny. How much did it all add up to? All right, so if my math is right, and it sometimes is, that gives us a grand total of $17,060.61. Now, I'm going with what I think is the best option. Like I said, I am not new to this industry. I'll throw some pictures up here, but I've done this work before in single pull. I've done it in haul and tow. I've done it in semi-truck and trailer driving for someone else. And I've done the boat side of this industry as well, which is a whole nother topic. But frankly, I don't think I could have done this for any cheaper. Now, we'll see if that comes back to bite me in the ass, but of course I'm hoping not. For me, this is not just a hobby. It is not a retirement thing. I am in my 20s. A lot of people have said I'm crazy. I left a good paying job to come do this. Well, at least it was a good paying job. But for just over $17,000 to put a truck on the road, I really don't think anybody could do it for cheaper. But hey, if you can, good for you. You know, I hope you the best of success, just like anybody else. I'm a firm believer in buy cheap trucks, because no matter what truck it is, whether it is a $17,000 truck or a $70,000 or a $170,000 truck, it's going to break. They all break eventually. And this one, well, The company I bought it from was a local trucking company, and they were able to give me the last 6 years worth of service documents for it. I can't even begin to say just how fantastic that is to have. I mean, 6 years worth of receipts to show what's been gone through and what hasn't been touched. With that, I can start to budget immediately for maintenance as to what I may need, what I need to look forward to. I know when the engine was last overhauled. I know when the transmission was last replaced. And I know that I have some time before I need to start worrying about those, but I'm going to start saving for them right away. So with that, we're going to see if we can turn $17,000 into $200,000 in a year. I think it's a very attainable goal. I hope we exceed it. But as long as I at least hit that mark, then I think I'll be happy. And with current rates at $3 a mile, that's a very attainable number. But we'll get into the finances in the next video. This is just my let's get started, let's get introduced and acquainted. So, I'm Connor for Crossbuck Transport. Thank y'all for watching. Look forward to seeing you in the upcoming videos. No sooner did I hit the stop record button that I realized this number is wrong. I forgot to include one last expense that I incurred along the way. It is a very cheap expense, which is why I forgot all about it. It does not matter if you are a single pull, haul and tow, or semi-truck pulling a trailer. If you're going to get into the RV industry, you are going to have to weigh your truck. That's right. You're going to have to go to a CAT scale, preferably, or any scale, and you're going to have to pay for a scale ticket so that way they know the empty weight of your truck. For big trucks like mine, it's important for the IRP registration. For smaller trucks, like pickup trucks and the single pull, it's actually even more important because most of you guys will be registering your trucks at 26,000 pounds exactly. You need to make sure that you are staying under that 26,000 pounds if you are a non-CDL single pull driver. So having that dry weight, making sure that you get a CAT scale ticket, that is crucial, and every carrier will require you do that either before or when you get to orientation.